the side hustles that became my brand. Well, I want to start by saying they're not side hustles. It's just what I do. The side hustles, I think, is a new term, right? It's been around for a few years, but um, I- I've been doing it for so long. They weren't side hustles when I started. They were just doing a lot of different things. But I'm doing this video and I'm doing this whole channel so you can do it too. Look, I know what it's like to be in a place where I just want to do something that I love for a living. I want to make a living as a musician. I want to write music. I want to put music out. I want to play cover music. I don't care what it is. I just want to be around music. I want to be around musicians. I want to be around great drummers and move forward. And thankfully that's been able to happen. But I remember when it wasn't able to happen. And so that's what all this content is about that I put out. Um, if you would do me a favor, if you like this stuff and you dig my content, please like and subscribe, like this video. It really does help the algorithm. I know everybody says that, but it truly does. So I really appreciate that. And what I want to do is at the beginning of the video, I want to give you something for free. Go to Gumroad. I'll put a link down below. For the musician's 7-day mindset reset. It's free. You go there, it's just click it, download it, PDF. It's 7 days of thoughts that you can just kind of check it out. Get your mind thinking on different terms if you're having a hard time getting going, and it's a good thing. I have other products on there as well, and that's what today's video is about how to make a living as a musician. When I started out, when I moved to California many, many moons ago from Colorado, I knew that I wanted to be in a band. My whole life, I've wanted to be the guy in the band. When I was younger, it was about, being, trying to be a rock star. As I aged and I got older, it wasn't so much that. It was just about that connection that I made with other musicians, and especially when the musicians are just really cooking and they're really good. And you're connecting well together. There's not a better feeling in the world. And I have to say too, especially when you're playing with musicians that are better than you, because it lifts you up, right? It kind of forces you to up your game. And I love that part of it. And so that's what I've continued to do. And I've been really fortunate to do. A lot of times though, if you rely on one thing as a musician, you'll find this out. You rely on gigs, right? It's going to be really hard to make a living. So that's why a lot of times people have a day job. You may have a day job. And if you do, that's great. Don't quit your day job. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it, and don't just up and quit your job and then hope for things to work out. You've got to be smart about it. Having a day job is sometimes the smartest thing you can do, especially in the beginning, especially when you're just starting out and you're not working a lot, right? And none of us have a crystal ball. You don't know if things are going to work out. I'm in a very fortunate situation with the group that I'm in. And I've always, for the longest time, I always kind of considered, if I thought about like my career and my life as a musician, like a bicycle wheel, and the band, the Sam Morrison band that I played with for 26 years. Again, I say that a lot, but if you watch these videos, but that's unheard of, right? That is the hub to the wheel. I always thought like that's a lot of my stuff comes off of the Sam Morrison band, which is still true. But I kind of try to think more now. The hub is just me being myself, right? And I want you to think that way too. Just be who you are at the center of your wheel. Now, what do I mean by that? What are you talking about, the center of the wheel? Well, off of that, you're going to put spokes, right? And one of the spokes, and probably the biggest spoke in my wheel, is the Sam Morrison band, because I've been in it so long, and the body of work that we've done, all the albums that we've recorded, all the tours that we've done. We've worked our way up to where we're playing some great gigs. We still play some, little crappy gigs from time to time. I mean, everybody does. You're going to, right? But for the most part, we've worked our way up. Sam always says that we've broken through the bottom of the middle. And I love that. Some nights we might be playing a place that holds, 500 people. And then 2 nights later, we're playing in front of 11,000 people. It's the gamut. And every one of them are fantastic. All the gigs are great. And doesn't matter who is there or how many people are there, we give you the same show. So that's one of the spokes off the wheel, my band, and how I make a living with that is from performances. It's from royalties, from albums, from past recorded albums. It's also from merchandise and swag and stuff that we sell at gigs. So when you hear that stuff, when you hear about, oh yeah, after the gig, we're going to be down at the merch table, right? Go down there and talk to people, and sell your wares, sell your T-shirts, your CDs, and yes, people still do buy CDs. I've said this in videos before. I've had people come up to me in the past and they'll say, I don't even have a CD player. Like, I don't own a CD player, but we want to buy this, so you guys can autograph it. And I think that's so endearing and so cool, that people do that. Some people come up and they'll go, yes, I still do have a CD player, and they they'll buy a CD and they listen to it. One lady came up and she goes, I have a CD player in my car. I remember one time, and I thought that was nice. So anyway, people still do listen to them. But having those things, right? In my case, at the merch table, this is another side hustle. Um, I'm a writer. I'm an author. I remember when we first moved into this house, when we moved out of our old house, I found a box of old magazines and periodicals that I wrote for. Some of the articles were archaic. I can't believe they got published, but I've always wanted to be the person that, uh, in my career, I wanted to have my opinion out there, right? I love teaching and I love being an instructor, and I love being a coach, and helping other people along the way and how to get their careers going. So I've always been a writer, you know, and as time's gone on, like anything, I'd like to think I got a little bit better at it, especially looking at these old archaic articles that I wrote. Um, uh, but I write. So there again, I have numerous books out, all of which the links are in the comments below. I have my instructional books, which are the School of Hard Rocks, Rockin, Poppin, Snare Drum. I have different educational DVDs back when DVDs were a thing. I have different rudimental content. Then I have two new books out right now called, one of them is called Drum Up Your Business, which is a business book that covers content like I have here on this channel. And I have another book called The Rhythmic Journey. I sell those at the band's table. Sam allows me to do it, and it's a great thing. And I think it's it's a little bit of extra money in the pocket, and it's it's one of the spokes off the hub of the wheel, right? You can do that too. Maybe you're not a writer. Maybe you don't want to write. Maybe you just want to record your music, and maybe you have a side project, and talk it out with the band or the band leader or whoever. Hey, can I sell this at the merch table? You don't want to be pushy and step on anybody's toes, but at the same time, put your music out there. I think it's important that you do that, and I think it's important that you are, as a creative person, you put your stuff out. And again, you want to make a living at what you're doing. You're not a nonprofit. We don't create things to not sell them, right? I mean, this painting on the wall behind me here is a beautiful Gretsch drum set. I bought that. It's a piece of art that I bought, and gladly paid for it. Somebody created that, right? So that's, as creative people, we hope that we can sell our wares. So I do that. So find your creativity. If you feel that you're a writer, then great, go for it. There's a lot of great writing retreats. There's so many things as a writer that you can do, right? There's great blogs. You can get paid for your blogs. There's a whole video in and of itself. But that's one of the hustles off of the side hustles of what I do. My podcast, Drummers Education Connection, that's not really, that's definitely a side hustle. And we don't really make a lot of money off of it. But what we do is we have a thing called Deck Day, Drummers Education Connection, Deck Day. And that is once a year. We do it usually at a location where we can bring in drummers, and we charge for admission. And we have the four of us, myself, Chip, Jeremy, and Rick, and we do a educational day. Each one of us gives a clinic, and we sell our wares there as well. And at the end of the day, with the money that comes in, we split it up, and everybody makes a little bit of money there. It's not a big, huge money maker for us. It's not going to sustain us through the year, but it is one more drop into that bucket. Again, a side hustle, right? Um, I do a lot of studio work, right? Right here in this room. This is my podcasting studio. It's my teaching studio, and it is a recording studio. My drum set's right there. I cut tracks in here all the time and send them to whoever wants them. So if you need tracks, feel free to reach out to me. My website's bartrobley.com, and I will cut tracks for you. Not a problem. And if you are watching this and you want to be a session player, you don't need recording budgets and everything like that. They're so low now. But if you can cut tracks, it doesn't matter if you're a drummer or you're a guitar player, a bass player, if you can cut tracks at your house, at your home, and send them out, man, that is fantastic, right? It's a great legitimate way to make a few bucks, right? It's a cool thing, it's a creative thing, and it's a great way to do it. Because you don't have to travel to a recording studio. You don't have to take, all your, in my case, a drum set. A lot of times studios will have cartage there and they have a drum set, but, take a handful of different snare drums, taking a handful of, cymbals and stuff. They're all right here, right? They're here in my studio. They're in my storage bins. I bring in the different snare drums, poof, away I go, send out my tracks, get paid for them. So I do a lot of drum tracks for hire. I do voiceover work. This is not only my podcasting microphone, it's a voiceover microphone. So if you need voiceover work, reach out to me. But voiceover work is another way for me to make an income. Coaching is a big part of what I do. I have many students that are not drummers, right? They are they're young guitar players. They're a young saxophone player right now, a trumpet player who wants coaching. How do I make my business run? How do I break into the music business? And I coach them through all of that stuff. Again, a lot of that stuff is covered in my book, Drum Up Your Business. You can get that hard copy on my website, bartrobley.com, once again, or you can get the digital version on Hudson Music. Links to all of that are in the description below. So, coaching is a big thing. And then, of course, drum lessons. I have been giving private drum lessons for so many years, helping drummers become rock stars, right? Just helping building one drummer at a time over the years, helping people reach their goals musically. Doesn't matter if they want to be a rock star or if they want to be in the jazz band in high school, marching band in high school, play on a worship team, or just do it as a hobby. Drum lessons are a great way to make a living. So think about teaching. Think about being a teacher. Don't fall into the adage of those of us who can do and those of us who can't do teach. That's a bunch of bull beep. I did a video on that is actually my main video. You can watch that next if you want, about how that is a bunch of rubbish. That is not true at all. Teaching is such a noble thing. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of energy. And man sharpens man like steel sharpens steel. So, make sure that you don't, blow that off, thinking about being a teacher. It's a very serious thing. If you are a teacher, get involved in the teams, right? All the stuff that I play, I'm endorsed by. So I'm endorsed by Sabian cymbals. I'm endorsed by Gretsch drums, WFL3 snare drums, Sabian cymbals, Aquarian drum heads, and on and on and on. And what happens is on all of those entities, right, all of those companies, they all have an education team, right? And the education team heads up just that. Programs for educators, content for educators, help programs for educators, support groups. It's a very important thing to be involved in those things. SIN, the Sabian Education Network, is a fantastic resource. If you're a drummer and you play Sabian cymbals, reach out to Joe Bergamini. Sign up for SIN. It's a great, great, great resource for drummers and for drum teachers. So that's kind of what I do, and you can do it too, right? And it's not going to happen overnight. And then, last but not least, I have to say this before I end the video. Creating content, right? I have a lot of places where you can get my content. Just right here, watching these videos on road rash and band-aids. I've been working on this YouTube channel. I've had it for many years, but I just kind of started seeing it as a way to, I want to generate income not only as a teacher, but as a content creator on YouTube, which also helps the content that I create for education, for books and things like that. So be a content creator. And I think the best thing that you can do to help yourself with all of that is to be as legitimate as possible. People can see through BS. People can see through fear, right? People can see when you're not genuine about what it is that you're talking about on a video, right? So be genuine in what you do. Be genuine in what it is that you are trying to build. And people will love it. People will go to it. People will be gravitated to it. So just be genuine with it. Look, if you have any questions in regards to any of the things that I'm talking about, right? If you want some coaching, if you want some coaching on how do I start doing what you're doing, reach out to me, man. There's no secrets. I'll give it all away to you. Well, I won't give it to you. You got to pay me for the coaching class. But if you want drum lessons, check out my book, Drum Up Your Business. Great. It's a really good resource for anybody that's new to the music business. And when I say new, I'm not talking about young people. It doesn't have to be, you're 18, 19, 20 years old. It can be somebody that's been taking lessons for a while. You got in a band, you're out there working. Hey, how does this work? You can be an adult. I don't get it. Buy the book, read the book. It's a good book. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this was helpful to you. And once again, if it was, please like and subscribe. Hit the button, hit the thumb, hit the bell. Just don't hit me. See you in the next video.